We're starting right now.
It's supposed to be action.
Action.
Hello, Facebook viewers. Is anybody watching?
One person.
One person? All right, we'll hang out for a little bit and see if more people join us.
My dad said he was going to start watching.
And we'll entertain that one person by drinking some water.
Kayla Fuller.
Who's watching?
Kayla Fuller, my old intern at the zoo. She was wonderful. She worked with reptiles and assisted at the Berkshire Humane Society camp. We have 4 people. 7. It booted me off Wi-Fi.
Are you on 5.0 or 2.7?
I'm on nothing.
What were you on before?
Kayla, can you still see us or hear us? Since you're the only one I know for sure that's watching.
Miss your phone.
She's not telling me. We have 11 people here now. I'm guessing that we're still us. So I think we're still live. Do you still want to see my phone?
No. Are people
11, 15. Yes, you blacked out for a second, but you are back, Kayla says.
All
Yeah.
right. Good afternoon. I'm Brian from the Riverside Reptiles Education Center. And first of all, I would like to apologize for my disgusting shorts that I'm wearing today that have holes in them. My goal today was to do a lot of construction. I wasn't planning on doing a Facebook Live until Terrell made me. So here I am. We're going to talk today about copperheads and snakes in Connecticut that kind of resemble copperheads, because I get a lot of calls. I probably say I get close to 100 calls and emails, sometimes even more, every year of people saying, you know, there's a snake in my yard, is it a copperhead? And 99.9% of the time, it's not a copperhead. There's 14 species of snakes in Connecticut, more or less about, well, most of them have some coloration of brown on them. Even black rat snakes and black racers have some brown in them when they're younger. So I'm going to go a little bit over how to identify some of the snakes in Connecticut that are mistaken for copperheads. And then in this bucket, I have a live copperhead, which I'm going to throw on Terrapin, and we're going to watch and see what happens. No, I'm just
Jim Ringnett
Oh, Jim Ringgett.
says, hello, Brian is wonderful.
Thanks, Jim.
That's your opinion, Jim.
Jim is my biggest fan. He sometimes stalks me, makes me a little nervous. All right, so first of all, we're going to start out with this guy. And we can get closer. This is a northern water snake, and northern water snakes are probably one of the most commonly mistaken snakes for copperheads, or sometimes people think they're cottonmouths, or aka water moccasins, which are not even found in Connecticut. The northernmost range for cottonmouths is southern Virginia. But the way to identify water snakes is pretty easy. If you look at their head, their eyes are very close to the tip of their snout, and that's an adaptation they have for their aquatic lifestyle. So they can just stick their heads out of the water, similar to that of an anaconda and other aquatic snakes, and take a peek around, or kind of just periscope like a crocodilian, just stick their head above the water to check things out. Also, if you look at their mouth, in their upper and lower lip scales, it looks like their mouth has been stitched together. So you can see that dark coloration in between their upper and lower lip scales. It kind of looks like their mouths have been stitched together. Another great way to tell water snakes from other snakes is they have heavily keeled scales. Now, a keel is a line going down each scale. So you can see these scales, very obviously heavily keeled scales. Copperheads, no, they have keeled scales too, but not as heavy as the water snakes. So those are great ways to tell water snakes from copperheads. Also, water snakes are highly variable. When they're younger, they tend to be lighter, and you can see kind of brownish or brownish red bands going across their back. As they get older, like this one, they tend to get a little bit darker. But you can kind of see the bands, the light hits it, right here on his side as well. So this is the northern water snake. Besides the garter snake in Connecticut, it's everywhere around water. They are fairly defensive. If you try and pick one up, they will bite. Leave them alone and they will leave you alone. And they prefer amphibians and fish. That is the mainstay of their diet. So here is the northern water snake. And if you have any questions, feel free to write in. I'll do my best to answer them. And this water snake right here, they're pretty slow growers. This guy right here, he's a...
My video keeps cutting out.
Are we still on?
I think we're still on, but we're down to 17 people. 15.
Let me see.
For anybody watching, hold on 1 second. I promise we'll be right back. All right, we're back. Yes? No?
Yeah.
Yes? I'm sorry that we lost some viewers. For the 12 people, 13 that are still watching, thank you. 14, back up. Look,
Are we good?
Not as
that
blurry.
rainy day must be interfering with the water.
okay.
All right.
Kayla.
So we put the water snake away, and here is, and they go to a copperhead, but if you know how to differentiate the two, they look nothing like a copperhead. Number one thing you should look for on a milk snake is you can see their bands, they're outlined by black. Copperheads do not have that. So if you see a snake in your yard, looks similar to this, look for those black outlines around each band, because all milk snakes have those black outlines, no matter what color they are. They're kind of variable like a water snake. They can be bright red as babies. They can get blotches. You can see this one has kind of like the letter U, but they have a Y or the letter U or sometimes a V on top of their head, which copperheads don't. Copperheads really actually don't have any patterns on top of their head. And that is the eastern milk snake, another very common snake here in Connecticut. During the summer, they're crepuscular, which means at dusk and dawn. And these guys are excellent on your yard and on your property. They're great at actually raiding mouse nests. They'll actually follow a trail of the mouse scent back to those mice.
Does anybody have any questions? Yeah.
You want to move it closer to the...
Your phone and start a whole new.
You can try.
Yeah, everyone's leaving. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to start, anyone who's still with me, we're going to start a new video for